The power of a placebo effect, slow version. In 1996, 56 volunteers took part in a study to test a new painkiller called triverican. On each subject, one index finger was covered in the new painkiller, while the other remains untouched. Then, both are squeezed in painful clamps. The subjects reported that treated finger hurt less than the untreated one. This shouldn't be surprising, except triverican wasn't actually a painkiller, just a fake concession with no pain easily properties at all. What made the students so sure this dummy drug has worked? The answer lies in the placebo effect, an infectious phenomenon where drugs, treatments, and therapies that aren't supposed to have an effect and are often fake ridiculously make people feel better. Doctors have used the term placebo since the 1700s, when they realized the power of fake drugs to improve people's symptoms. These were administered when proper drugs were available, or someone imagined they were ill. In fact, the word placebo means "I shall please" in Latin, hinting at a history of placating troubled patients. Placebo has to mimic the real treatments in order to be convincing, so they took the form of sugar pills, water-filled injections, and even sham surgeries. Soon, doctors realized that duping people in this way had another use in clinical trials. By the 1950s, researchers were using placebo as a standard tool to test new treatments. To evaluate a new drug, for instance, half the patients in a trial might receive the real pill. The other half will get a placebo that looks the same. Since patients wouldn't know whether they received the real things or a drug, the result wouldn't be biased, researchers believed. Then, if the new drug showed a significant benefit compared to placebo, it was proved effective. Nowadays, it seems less common to use placebos this way because of ethical concerns. If it is possible to compare a new drug against an older version or another existing drug, that's preferable to simply giving someone no treatments at all, especially if they are seriously ill. In these cases, placebos are often used as a control to fine-tune the trial, so these effects of the new versus of old or alternative drug can be precisely compared. But of course, we know the placebos exert their own influences too. Thanks to the placebo effect, patients have experienced relief from a range of ailments, including heart problems, asthma, and severe pain. Even though all they received was a fake drug or a sham surgery. We're still trying to understand how. Some believe that instead of being real, the placebo effect has merely confused with other factors, like patients trying to please doctors by falsely reporting an improvement. On the other hand, researchers think that if a person believes a fake treatment is real, their expectation of recovery actually to trigger physiological factors that improve their symptoms. Placebo seems to be capable of causing measurable change in blood pressure, heart rate, and the release of pain-reducing chemicals like endorphins. That explains why subjects in pain studies often say placebos ease their discomfort. Placebo may even reduce level of stress hormones like adrenaline, which can slow the heartburn effects of ailment. So should we celebrate this placebo bazaar benefit? Not necessarily. If somebody believes a fake treatment has cured them, they may miss out on drugs or therapies that are proven to work. Plus, the positive effects may fade over time, and often do. Placebo also cloud clinical research, making scientists even more motivated to discover how they wield such power over us. Despite everything we know about the human body, there are still some strange and enduring mysteries, like the placebo effect. So, what other undiscovered malware might we contain? It's easy to investigate the world around us and forget that one of the most fascinating subjects lies right behind our eyes. One more with normal speed. In 1996, 56 volunteers took part in a study to test a new painkiller called trivaricane. On each subject's one index finger was covered in the new painkillers, while the other remained untouched. Then, both are squeezed in painful clamps. The subjects reported the treatment's finger hurt less than the untreated one. This shouldn't be surprisingly, except trivaricane was actually a painkiller, just a fake concoction with no pain in its properties at all. What made these students so sure the dummy drug has worked? The answer lies in the placebo effect, an unexpected phenomenon where drugs, treatments, and therapies that are supposed to have an effect and are often fake, miraculously make people feel better. Doctors have used the term placebo since the 1700s, when they realized the power of a fake drug to improve people's symptoms. These were understood when popular drugs were available, or if someone imagined they were ill. In fact, the word placebo means "I shall please" in Latin, hinting a history of politically troubled patients. Placebo had to mimic the real treatments in order to be convincing, so they took the form of sugar pills, water-filled injections, and even shake surgery. Soon, doctors realized that duping people in this way had another use in clinical trials. By the 1950s, researchers were using placebos as a standard tool to test new treatments. To evaluate new drug, for instance, half of patients in trial might receive the real pill, and other half would get a placebo that looks the same. Since patients wouldn't know whether they received the real thing or a dog, their results wouldn't be biased, researchers believe. Then, if the new drug showed a significant benefit compared to the placebo, it was approved effective. Nowadays, it's less common to use placebos this way because of ethical concerns. If it is possible to compare a new drug against the older version or another existing drug, that's proper to simply giving someone no treatment at all, especially if they have serious illness. In these cases, placebos are often used as a control to fine-tune the trial, so the effect of the new versus of the old alternative drug can be precisely compared. But of course, we know the placebo exert their own influences too. Thanks to the placebo effect, patients have experienced relief from a range of ailments, including heart problems, asthma, and severe pain. Even though all they received was a fake drug or a shaped surgery, we'll still try to understand how. Some believe that instead of being real, the placebo effects merely confused with other factors, like patients try to please doctors by virtually reporting improvements. On the other hand, researchers think that if a person believes a fake treatment is real, their expectation of recovery actually do trigger physiological factors that improve their symptoms. Placebo seems to be capable for causing measurable change in blood pressure, heart rate, and the release of pain-reducing chemicals like endorphin. That explains why subjects in pain study often say placebo is their comfort. Placebo may even reduce the level of stress hormones like adrenaline, which can slow the heart effects of the ailment. So should we celebrate the placebo major benefits? Not necessarily. If somebody believes a fake treatment has cured them, they may miss out on drugs or therapies that are proven to work. Plus, the positive effects may fade over time, and often do. Placebo also clouds clinical results, making scientists even more motivated to discover how they wield such power over us. Despite everything we know about the human body, there's still some strange and enduring mysteries, like the placebo effect. So, what other undiscovered marvel might be we can contain? It's easy to investigate the world around us and forget that one of the most fascinating subjects lies right behind our eyes. This video is talking about the placebo and how it's working in our body. And placebo is the kind of a fake. So people tends to use this placebo effect, especially for patients. If they just in 1950 around this year, the scientists make the test to do placebo effects. So they just gave some medicine which doesn't have any work to the patients. So they just separate the two type of different patients. One patients have the real drug, but others just have the fake drug. Then they just give the pain to both them, but unsurprisingly, both have the same effect. It means people believe this drug is the real drug. They just cure by themselves. So we can call this is the placebo effect. And usually, for a long time ago, people used to these treatments, especially for people who cannot hear it, or even to some people who need the surgery. So they just can cover by them physiological effect, physiological way. So we need to think it is just good thing, not at all, because if the patients just believe the placebo effects, they know the drug doesn't have any effort, misunderstanding. So they don't want to believe the drug and just to throw everything. So it's maybe affect to the drug which have real effect. Also, another bad thing is that, what is that? So another thing that is also related to the first one is people, yeah, maybe am I stupid? Why I can remember the story? Yeah, maybe next time. I think nowadays I just finished the almost to 100th time about this 10 minutes, and now I think I'm a little bit improved, especially pronunciation, and even if it is very short time to read the video writing, but I just keep reading 10 minutes every day, so it also have the effect to improve my reading section as well. I think it's quite good way. So I know there is no one who subscribe me, though I wanna recommend to others just keep doing this way as well. Yeah, thank you.